Ooh, let me go put on my G-Lock shirt on.
Yeah, go put on the matching shirt. What's going on, guys? Another video. This time, as the title states, this is part 2 of my Stoptech fast brakes big brake install for the B13. I showed you guys before how I assembled my rotors by safety wiring them, Loctiting them. Definitely followed the directions on the fast brakes directions. Very important to do that. So today we actually have my car here at Sergio's house. It's changed a little bit since the last time you saw it. I did pick up a set of ZE40s from VOLK. They are 16x8 plus 35. I know you guys are gonna ask me a lot about that anyway, but yeah, that's the sizing. I'll put it up in the video so you can see what the sizing of it is too. So these are a little bit lighter than my CE28s, but the exact same spec, so I have no rubbing issues at all. But we're gonna go ahead and have to put the car on all fours because once I break the brake line, I'm introducing air into the system, so it's time to bleed the whole system anyway. Okay, I do have brand new ATE type 200 brake fluid, so you want something with a high wet boiling point for those guys who are tracking their vehicles. And if you're buying those Taiwanese kits just for the looks, I mean, hey, if you want to die, go ahead and die. But in any case, you guys seen, we track our cars regularly, so oh hey Sergio, oh hi.
Hey, say what's up.
Hey, what's changed since the last episode, man? I see you're still working on the same Lexus here. Yep.
The Camry.
Oh, the little fancy Camry.
Yeah, see?
All he's done is taking the cover off since last
Toyota.
Yeah. You bring wrenches to the party, rather you see you bring some ratchets to the party. And I think that after I bought the brake kit, because this is officially the first fast brake Stoptech kit for the B13. After I bought it, I believe Russell in Florida bought one for his cup car as well. So shout outs to Russell. Look it. Looks like a happy feet.
These are beautiful.
Look pretty good, huh? So we got the kit all laid out. So really what I have here is I have my GS1 G-Lock. Thanks again to Danny over at G-Lock for providing me the pads. This is their street compound, and then I have my track compound, which are my R10s. This is what I'm used to running on. I don't think I'll need to go up to R12s, but if I do, I'll just hit up Danny and he'll take care of me. So the kit, it does have its own specific brake lines, and you guys saw me install the brake line adapter that goes on the actual caliper itself. It's this one right here. It is low mounted, so it does need its own specific brake line, so we'll get that on. But this is pretty much it. So I did bring the Loctite 242 that the instructions do state to require. I forgot the most essential part of the kit at home. The brackets. I forgot my brackets.
See?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
see you next time. That's all, folks.
One eternity later.
We're just now taking the wheels off. You want to tell the people what happened?
I forgot my parts at home, like a dummy.
Forgot his brackets at home, so we had to run back to Los Angeles.
Los Angelinos.
Meanwhile, say bye-bye to the Willwoods and hello to the Stoptechs. So what'd you learn?
I learned that I needed these bad boys. So because these mount a different way than the Willwoods do, these pretty much go on the back of the knuckle, and then the calipers bolt down onto these. So without these, I learned you can't do much. So me and AJ already pretty much pre-mocked this kit up, so that we can just make sure everything worked. We also added these spacers here to space out the caliper to the rotor, so we did add these too. We tried different sizes. Brian at Fast Brakes does supply different sizes here. I separated them by size, but these work the best to get the pad to the edge of the rotor, and we'll show you that in a second. All right, so that portion of it is on tight. So the next portion is the rotor.
Little ring.
But yeah, so the cool thing is Brian supplies these rings that go on the hub itself. AJ was nice enough to go ahead and wire brush the hub off a little bit, but it just pretty much just slides in there.
No lube.
No lube, and it's mainly to center the actual rotor itself.
Por qué?
Go big or go home.
Yeah, go big or go back to Willwoods.
See? Pablo Cito Allen Jack.
Wait, you're telling the people my middle name?
Too many jacks.
Give him his address too.
Social?
25.
Grinder account info?
I'm not Rob.
So the ring is on. It's good. Oh, we still gotta clean these off. Oh my God, we are just failing today, aren't we? We are just full of fail. So we'll spray these down, get all this protectant off of it, and then we'll put them on, and then just bolt the calipers on, and then we'll deal with the lines.
Alrighty. Rotomasters. Made in Russia.
The Russian ones are the strongest kind.
They are made in Mother Russia. Say it right, Mother Russia. For international viewers.
So as you can see, the little centering ring on the inside that I just tapped in, that AG got a hammer for me to help me put in, it really centers the rotor from moving or distorting, but it centers it right on there. So again, we did have the 2 washers. We used one of the large ones and then a medium one. That's what we use there, so you guys see that. That's gonna go on the backside, and then
Your kit may vary.
right, a little bit. So here, what you want to see is that the pad is right at the end of the rotor face. So the little beveled edge is where the rotor stops, and my pads are right on that face. So that's exactly where I spaced it out to. All right, so I already put in this like oblong looking lock nut that goes to the top of the caliper. There's also a washer that goes with it that needs to go in there and be installed. I already put the Loctite 242, and those actually get torqued down to 35 foot-pounds per the instructions that Brian at Fast Brakes provides. I did leave the bleeder valves open because I'm gonna end up bleeding the whole system. Again, we introduced air into the system, so we have to bleed the whole system. So we'll get the rear of the car in the air in a moment and then do that as well. But you can't even get these started with your hands for the simple reason of the fact that they're like kind of oblong shaped. So as they're spinning, they're also contorting back into a round shape themselves.
AKA one-time use.
There it is, 35 foot-pounds. So we threw the wheel on there just to make sure we didn't have any clearance issues. I'm pretty sure I wasn't gonna have clearance issues, but oh, bro, that was a special moment music
For the gram.
So we were making sure we didn't have any fitment issues. Plenty of clearance with the ZE40s. They are supposed to clear under my TE37s as well, but that's pure sexiness. I mean, AJ, what do you think?
I have to go change my pants.
Did he tell you about a little bedtime problem?
Mama, I'm begging you, don't.
That's his sheet back there.
Was that before or after?
Don't ask him to stand up right now.
This is a kid's show. So we don't have any clearance issues at all, and the rotor isn't rubbing anywhere, so that means it's nice and centered. There's no contact with the pad. Again, engineering marvel over there at Fast Brakes. Brian did a great job. Man, that looks real good. What you think, Sergio? You next?
Yeah.
Sign you up?
Sign me up.
Put it on the tab.
Just add it on the tab. And guys, always be careful with your expensive wheels. When you take the last lug nut off, it is going to tilt. You don't want the barrel of your socket to scratch the inner barrel of your wheel, so always hold the wheel.
Ooh.
The more you know.
Alright, so the kit's on. I installed the brake line. Unfortunately, the brake line wasn't long enough to reach the actual brake line mount, but there's an ABS provision on this coilover from Fortune. These are my Fortune Auto 510s, of course. And so what I'll do is I'll put a P-clamp back here. It's just held on by a zip tie for now. Oh yeah, so the power bleeder sucked. The O-ring's bad on it, so we can't use that thing. What are we using,
Whack,
AJ?
whack.
Flintstone it.
My foot and yo wrenches. Or
Ooh,
maybe his wrench.
I thought he was gonna go there. So the brake kit's all on. All the lines are in. Quick.
We added
through with
P-clamp.
some P-clamps. That's right. Let's go ahead and turn it.
Pizza clamps?
So, got a nice little P-clamps there for it to run through. That'll be more than sufficient.
Oh, and it has some slide?
Yeah.
PP clamps.
See. So, yeah, that'll work. That'll work just fine. So, now, got the rear up.
Ooh! That
Foot bleed it?
ENKEI German taxi has to
Oh,
get
but it
out
has
of the
no
way.
e-brake.
It has no e-brake.
Well, just roll it back. The dip will hold it in place. So,
into the grass. You can't just go ahead and bleed your brakes. We're gonna foot bleed it. AJ's in the car. He's holding the camera right now. But on the outside, there is a procedure for it. I'm gonna put it up above me in a second, but let me just read it off to you. It's up here or up there. Wherever. It's gonna be in here. So for the B13, it's left rear, right there. It's gonna be front right, which is up there, then right rear, and then ending up in the left front, which is closest to the master cylinder. So it's gonna get, again, left rear, front right, right rear, left front, and that is the B13 procedure. For a B14, who cares? Who cares about a B14? Okay, I'll give it to you anyway.
What about if they have S14 hoods?
Well, if they buy a Zenki hood for a B14 front end with the N15 conversion, it doesn't work.
shit. Hey,
All right, let's get to bleeding.
pump it.
1, 2, 3, hold.
Pump it.
1, 2, 3, hold.
Hey, stop that. We're not in Riverside. I care about my neighbors.
I care about your neighbors. Look at your driveway. What happened is we bled the brakes, and he ain't done putting on some undershields.
Oh, you lucky. You lucky. I would have messed you up if that would have hit my knee. Man, you're cruising for a bruising. Oh!
Sup? Keep running your mouth, homie.
Oh, this is fantastic. This is exactly what I wanted.
Gotta be faster than a 129 streets.
I know I'm faster than a 129.
Yeah, you gotta be faster than a 206 at ACS.
I can do faster than a 211.
Hope so.
I can do that. Oh shit. Yeah, I like it. Success. This brake kit went on great. Thanks again to Brian at Fast Brakes, Danny at G-Lock. Thanks again to AJ for helping me out with this. Thanks to Sergio for always letting us come and bother him while we're at his house.
He's somewhere over here.
He's in there,
He's right
underneath
there.
that Camry still. And thanks to you guys for always supporting and following us. So if you like videos like this, like and subscribe, and then
Ring that notification.
yeah, especially that thing
Up there, that little bell chingus,
wherever it goes. But yeah, we have more coming for you. So oh, we gotta move. All right, AJ, press the red button at the top. Done.
Peace out.
All right, guys. So I've been driving the car around for looks like around 3 weeks now. I put about 300 miles on it since I put in the Stoptech kit, and it's been great. The kit is great. It answered two major questions for me, right? One of the two questions I had when I first saw the kit and Brian posted it was, will it clear up that inch to inch and a half of dead pedal in the car from the Willwood kit? That's one thing that I've been wanting to clear up with this car for quite some time, and at some point I was looking for other alternatives because nobody was making anything other than a Willwood kit for the B13, right, which was Brian at Fast Brakes. Really the only option was at some point for me was maybe going back down to an 80-22 with a solid pad and a great rotor, and that would probably be the last time I didn't feel that dead pedal feel was when I was on 80-22. So when he posted it, it's really clear up that dead pedal, and it did. It sure enough did. As soon as I drove off Sergio's driveway and drove down the street, the slightest brake pedal feel or the slightest brake pedal pressure, you hear the brake pads. You hear the brake pads touching the rotor, and obviously the pads were new and the rotors were new, so they were making a little noise, right, as they made it to each other. But it was, you can feel it. And before with the Willwoods, again, it was like an inch and a quarter before, nothing, and then brake. Looking at James Houghton, looking at PZ Tuning Wheel, looking at all these front wheel drive and rear wheel drive time attack cars, seeing all these E46s that go to the Stoptech Trofeo kit for their BMWs, including Martin at Moto IQ with his M5. I mean, these calipers, these kits are great. So that was cleared up. Second question I had was, is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it because I'm willing to pay for it, right? Is it worth it to you at, you know, $1,400 plus? I'm not quite sure, because depending on the options, right, you get from Brian at Fast Brakes if you decide to buy the kit. Is it worth it to you? Maybe, maybe not. Pull out your wallets, send Brian your W-2s, whatever you gotta do. If you want a kit that looks good but performs just as good as it looks, then this is gonna be the kit to buy. For sure, there is no better brake kit out there for the B13 than this Stoptech kit, and I can tell you that hands down right now. Also, let me go ahead and give you the little bit of lowdown, because the one thing that concerned me is the kit's quite large compared to the Willwood kit, right? It's larger. The piston, well, not the piston, but the caliper itself, the body of the caliper is larger physically than the Willwood caliper, than the Willwood Dynalite. So one of my concerns was, will it clear my wheels? Yes, it does. It clears my 16x8 plus 35 CE40s. It clears my 16x8 plus 35 CE28s. It clears my 15x8 plus 35 TE37s. It clears my 15x8 plus 35 57DRs. What I'll do is any wheels that I test fit to make sure that clear, I'll continue to update the description of this video as I test more wheels and let you guys know which wheels I know for sure clear. So the 949 Racing 6UL in 15x8, I will test fit with one of Sergio's wheels. He has those wheels. Those are his track wheels, right? You guys have seen it before. And if you haven't, I'll put the video up here for one of Sergio's track days. Thank you again, Brian at Fast Brakes, for making quality parts for us and continuing to support the community. Thank you, Danny at G-Lock, for always taking my call and taking my orders there for your brake pads. And thank you to you guys for pushing us over the 2,000 subscriber mark. By the time this video is out, I just saw it the other day. It looks like we were at like maybe 1,980 or something like that. So thank you guys. I didn't think we were gonna make it this far, especially since I don't really like push my channel on anybody or anything like that. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Peace.